Hello and welcome to an Everquest guide for a level 110 Mage. This, I play this character mostly as a box, so the information I'm providing will be mostly based on that, but it should be useful, kind of, anybody playing a Mage. I know a lot of people use them as box, low impact, low, work characters, so it's kind of what this is. So let's kind of go over spells, hotbar, and anything else that comes up, right? Maybe gear. So first things up, I have Twin Cast as my first spell. Just allows any spell to be twin casted, which means it'll like cast twice. Then I have a Reckless Servant, which is a just a spell that summons little pets, or it used to summon little pets, now it just summons one gargoyle. And then it will attack the target for 18 seconds, and it does moderate to useful damage. I mean, look at this thing. It's just like it's insane damage for what it is, right? And it is a level 116, so it's a pretty durable little thing to have. Then we go into the nukes. So we have Volley of the Many, Fickle Configuration here, and Spear of the Arcanite. Yeah, Arcanite. And these are kind of the three nukes I primarily use. Mostly because the way I play, I'm literally mashing the 5 button, which is my multi-bind button, and all these will kind of trigger. So Volley of the Many burns your target with an elemental bolt. The bolt is magnified by the nearby summoned creatures, dealing 5,000 damage with between 1 and 2 pets, 25,000 damage with between 3 and 6, and 44,000 damage with 7 pets. Now, you're probably thinking, you're not going to get that many pets out. But we can. So we start with 1, right? We have our Mage pet here, and I'm using a water pet right now. And then we have this one, which is 2 pets, so that we're at 2. This used to summon like 3, so I'm not sure if the skill the text got updated or not, but there's that. We also have an AA one, where is it? Host of Elements, which summons 3 more. All right, so that's 5, right? I think we calculated this in one of the other videos for setup on this. So 5 gives us, say here between, that's 25,000 damage, right? I also have an Enchanter. That's another one, so that's 6. And then I have a Druid, and you're like, Druids are terrible. And you would be wrong, because Druids get Fungal Assault, which is another pet. So that gets me to 7. All right. And then the Druid can also spawn 2 more, which just kind of gives us, so I'm doing about 44,000 damage on this, in normal circumstances where I've engage the mob for a while, right? Because it takes a while for them to get all their other pets and stuff going. So very nice damage out of this, very useful in the way that I play, right? And this is a almost instant cast spell, so it's very nice. And then Fickle Conflagration here strikes your target with a focused elemental fire, causing 15,000 damage. This fire has a chance to greatly increase the damage of your next direct damage spell, or lower a chance of your cause or dex to be weaker for a brief period of time. So you get, this is like, random gamble, if you will. So we cast it. It has a 5-second recast. Where's the buff? There's a buff somewhere, I guess. Elemental Earth. I don't know. There's a buff that goes on if you get it, right? I don't know where it would go off the top of my head. I'll just cast it again. No, I don't know. So you get either more damage or you don't. It is what it is. Spear of the Molten Arcanite. This is a 32,000 damage nuke. Now, if we watch this spell, I will cast it. I'll stand back a little bit. I believe this one has an object, so the damage does not hit it until that object that you saw, a little orange ball, hits it. So this is like the old school bolt mage spells, you know. And there's a travel time to it. It's not instantaneous, so keep that in mind when using it. Then I do Summoned a Blazing Orb. Now, this is from level 94. I don't know if we got an upgrade yet. There might have been one. I don't really use it as much. I should probably switch it out. I mean, let's look real quick. It's... The way I play, it's more of a hassle to resummon it. More often than not. But if you're playing as, like, you know, this is your only character, then definitely... something you'd want to do. I do not see another version of it. Yeah. I think some of these right here, these paradox things, are the same concept. But, I mean, I could just be missing it. Yeah, Summon Blazing Orb here, and we didn't get a new one yet. I know we get a new one later on, I think, but not yet. So, you know, every once in a while I'll summon it. It's, I think it's in one of my, yeah, it's in my short duration buff thing, so I'll cast it every once in a while, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I'm not focused on what he's doing that much. It's, I'll hit a button, and he does it, It's, you know, it's what it is. See here, Blistering Skin. So this adds a 4,900 point damage shield to your tank or whoever you want to cast it on for 30 seconds, but it's 4 strikes only. So, you know, you get, what is that, like almost 20k damage just from that. So I cast it every once in a while, but 4 hits is not, it's hard to maintain that, because I believe it's like a near instant recast, right? It's a 14-second recast, so you got, you know, but it goes like instantly when you're fighting stuff. And then Ice Flame Keep. So this is a pet buff, right? You cast it on your pet. You don't have to target your pet, but it'll cast it on your pet. Cloaks your pet in an Ice Flame Ward, which will deal 159 cold damage to any creature that strikes it. So it gives your pet a 159 point cold based damage shield, and grants it a chance to cast Ice Flame Strike Aza when it makes melee attacks, which just deals 1,000 damage, and then absorbs some spells there. So it's just a little buff, you know, it helps. Then I have Mass Dark Transvergence. Now, I don't think I've gotten a new one of these yet. Yeah, so this is like 105 is like the last version of this. It is not that useful at this point, truth be told. Like, let me see if there's a better one. Yeah, I don't see a better one yet. So at this point, this one is not that great, and I'm probably gonna drop it soon. But if I cast it, everybody will get a mod rod. And this is like AoE mod rod, right? Like everybody, even though they're not in your group, gets it. And this one will just take, you know, 3,400 health, 29 health, give you 2,900 mana. Not that great. I have this one here that's an AA. Slightly better. Takes 45,000 health. It gives you 15,000 mana. And I use the mod rods on cooldown as much as I can. It's actually in my assist macro to, you know, target the assist target, pet attack, pet swarm, use the glowing mod rod, use the wand, right? So I use those on cooldown just to keep mana up. Next up is Burnout. This is our pet haste. You start out, get this pretty early in the game, and then this is like, what, 13? So you get a lot of them. But this one does more than haste. So this one will give your, increase their melee damage by 24%, increase their attack speed by 185%, attack rating by 231, armor class by 32, and strength by 85. Just, you know, if you have a pet, this is you gotta want to cast it no matter what. I keep it memorized at all times just because I'm lazy, but it does last for 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I don't need to. Technically, I'm probably gonna swap it over. So I have on my paladin here, I have these one-click, you know, buff things, right? I can do click browse, right? He sits down, mims the spell, and casts it, and then he'll mim back to the set that he had before. So the spell set, you know, it's all built into the game, and it saves a lot of time. So I probably will be converting this character to using that kind of stuff for the pet buffs, and you know, maybe some other stuff. But I haven't done it yet, just because I don't even know what I would put there. I don't know. He runs out of mana if I nuke too much, so I'm kind of like keeping him, you know, at this point. Burning Symbiosis here is a interesting spell. So this will take 7,000 life from your pet, and use it to create a shield around you that increases your mana to regen for 63 points for 10 minutes. Right? It's a short duration mana regen. I try to keep it up as much as I can, and it just gives me more mana regen. Like right now we're at 829 mana regen. So that's with Clarity, Elemental Form, and I believe we have Spiritual Erudition here. Yeah, this is the Beast Lord mana regen, so it's another 192. So we get a lot of mana regen. We need all the mana regen we can. I'm permanently mounted on this character when he's in combat, right? So that should give us something like 900, right? 870. He needs a better mount. So definitely, you know, something worth casting on cooldown. Call of the Heroes. This is a group Call of the Hero. Summons a character to you. So like Call of the Hero, I can summon her over here. Right, and my who's this? My enchanter comes over here, and if I go over here, and I do group call heroes, so they will all come to me. There we go. They're all just teleporting over. See, very useful. It uses pearls, I believe. I don't know how many pearls, but I think it uses pearls anyway. Yeah, I don't know. There's something I cast uses pearls. It used to be Call of Hero used, like the original and Kunar and Call of Hero used pearls, but it could be that I have an AA that kind of prevents them from actually being used. And then down here at the last spot, I have, this is my flex spot, if you will. And I usually have my pet buffet, or my pet summon in here. So I'm currently using a water pet, so it's a 107 water pet. I needed to summon food for my enchanter, so I had a Gifted Daybreak in there, but it's kind of what I keep in. So I do everything multi-bound, right? So let me kind of go into how that all works, right? I have extended target here on all my characters. It's the exact same. First is Holdridge, second is my enchanter, third is my druid, fourth is me. And then fifth is my assist target. So number 5 is what I assist. All right, so keep that in mind. My first in-game social is actually this one. Hide corpse, just hides all the corpses. Like they cause lag, especially if you have like, you know, a bunch of corpses right at your feet, and you know, multiply that by how many games I'm running, right? It's bad. So I have that on there, auto inventory for all the mod rods and stuff that just get thrown around. My assist is Xtar 5, so you don't need a pause or anything like that for Xtar 5, because if we look right here, right, the second, let me see if I can do this right. The second I click on that, it's already populated up here, right? You saw it in, like, as soon as I clicked it, I clicked over the window, it pops up. So as long as I play from the tank, right? As long as he's targeting something, I will have a target. So this will assist it. It will do a pet attack, and then it'll do a pet swarm. So summon this right here, right? So this little pet is a swarm pet. This is a real pet. So if I do pet attack, right? And then if I do pet swarm, oh my god, I can't type. He will switch over to that target, right? So the concept is I want this character to always be doing damage to whatever I'm targeting with my paladin, right? I don't want him attacking something else because I do mez. I mez a lot of stuff. And I want 100% focus on whatever target I'm fighting. So if I switch targets, they will all switch targets, right? So that's kind of the way that works. Then I have use item glowing modulation shard, which is the AA mod rod you can summon, and then the wand, which is another one, but it's not that great. So I'm probably going to replace it soon. That's my assist macro, but it's multi-bound. So multi-binding, if you don't know what it is, it's probably the greatest thing in the world. I haven't used it up until this series. But what you do is you take every button on the hotbar and you bind it to the same button. I like 5 because I use the other one, 1 through 4 on my paladin, 4 different things, and then I use 6 for something else. So 5, just it's in the right spot for my finger, but it works out. So everything that's bound with 5 down here, you can see all the buttons, will get activated at the same, not the same time, right? Like it's each key press is a different button, right? It's weird how it works, but it works. And so what I have is I have Twin Cast, I have Reckless Servant, Volley of the Many, Turn Summoned, Servant of Rose, Second Wind, Host Elements, Force of Elements, Dimensional Shield, Arcane Whisper, and then Fickle Conflagration, Molten Arcanite Spear, the Blazing Orb if it's there, an auto inventory button just in case because I like to switch between screens and click these mod rod buttons and stuff, so I have an auto inventory in there, so he just automatically does it. And then Frenzy Burnout. So that's a lot of stuff, right? And each of these, we went over the spells, so let's kind of go over the AAs real quick, since they're already here. So Turn Summoned only works on summoned creatures. Now, I could save this, and, it would always, be there. But, so the way this works is, this will not activate it if the creature that I'm fighting is not summoned. So, like, if I click on this combat dummy, if I click on him, right, Turn Summon, it won't activate. So it doesn't matter that it's in my thing, it'll just keep going, right? Just go to the next one. So it's kind of like if we find a summon mob, I haven't seen very many, but if we find one, it'll do 500,000 damage to it, and if it crit, it'll crit for even more. Am I reading right? Alright, so when activated, deals 500,000 damage to your elemental target and has a 30% chance, which critically deals another 200,000 damage. It's insane. So it's a big nuke to summoned, so it's very case specific. Servant of Row, when activated, summons a level 116 Servant of Row that will cast some spell that does 120,000 damage. Jeez. Does a lot of damage. Oh, that's next rank. It does 60,000 right now. It's like, what? So this will just summon another pet. So it kind of gets us closer to that number we want, right? We want 7 or more pets at all times, right? That's kind of the goal of this. Like if we had 2 mages, that would be trivial to hit, right? I don't have 2 mages at the moment, but if I did, I would be able to hit 7+ summoned pets at all times without even trying. All right, so Second Wind just places a guard on my pet, so if he drops below 20% health. So I run my pet with Taunt on. This helps a lot in tier 2 content, at least in TOV, right? Like I'm 110, my other characters are 113. So they're doing TOV content, and he just tags along, gets experience, and does out more damage than all of them. So that's kind of like how this works, right? And so this just gives my pet a little extra oomph, if you will, to, you know, protect himself. This pet that I have right now is yellow to me. It's a 111. So he's a pretty beefy boy when it comes to that. He can tank tier 2 stuff better than my paladin. So it's just kind of crazy, but that's just how it is. And that's a water pet. Imagine the earth pet. I mean, this is go insane. But you know, that's something I can cast it every 20 minutes. So I just keep it up. It lasts for a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. So it actually lasts for 30 minutes. This it does some procs for 18 seconds. So it's kind of just, you know, keep it up at all times. A host of elements. So this summons a swarm of 3 pets that do more damage, right? They I don't know how much damage they do, but let's actually see. Which one is higher level? Green, light blue. All right, host of elements. I don't even see them. I have models off though. Let me. Yeah, it didn't help. So they're doing like 5,000 damage, 18,000 damage. They're doing, you know, acceptable damage. It's 3 extra pets. Gets me closer to that. So I can do that on cooldown. It's a 10-minute reuse, but I do it on cooldown. Why not? Force of elements. This is a, let's see here, activated, does 24,000 damage, and it is a near instant cast. So Force of Elements does 24,000 damage. I'm assuming it can crit. I've never really paid attention, but I assume it can crit and stuff like that. All right, Dimensional Shield. So this just this is a self buff. It'll just absorb damage. It's just, I have it there just to use it on cooldown. Arcane Whisper reduces your target's hatred for you by you know, a massive amount and stuff like that. I do this on cooldown because he does more damage than everybody else in my group, and sometimes the way that I'm letting the pet taunt, it can inadvertently let me get aggro. Like, it doesn't happen very often, and I have a paladin tank, so he's like constantly stunning and nuking and threading. Like, he's constantly doing all that, but sometimes stuff happens. And then Frenzied Burnout here. This just activates the combat prowess of your pet for 42 seconds. I use it on cooldown. I used to try to save these kind of things for burns, but then I never use them, or I can't activate them all at the same time, and it just gets annoying. But this increases the pet attack power by 700, crit chance, just it's all around just massive buff to the pet. Super massive. Like, I guess I could put it in the burn, you know, here, but I'm already filling up almost 3 of these, right? So that's just what it is. Then I have a summon mod rods. So this will summon the 2 mod rods right here. It's just a accessible thing. I need a pause in here to make it actually more efficient, but I just haven't bothered with it since I manually click it between each activation that I need, right? And so for my burn, so this is kind of the same burn as we had in I guess the 105 video. Spire of Elements, Thurgamatage is Focus, Companion of Necessity, Improved Twin Cast, and Focus Arcanium. Now, Companion's Necessity, let me see if I can find it real quick. This thing is awesome. So when I'm finding a name, I click my burn button, right? My process is I get it in with my paladin, I'm doing his taunting rotation, which is on him, it's bound to 4. I get slow, I get mallow, I get all that stuff on the named. And then I hit 7. And when I hit 7, all these things go off, right? Spire, focus, necessity. And necessity is extremely great because it pulls the mob off my paladin. So the pressure is kind of off him. And we just can go 100% burn no matter what, no problem. And the mob dies, right? It works really well. It taunts everything. It gets everything just pretty much locked down. Now it will die. It does not last very long. But it gets it to the point where my paladin, if he hasn't activated, if I haven't activated like his defensive or something like that, it gives me a few seconds to get that going, and it just buys me time, and it works really well. I will never take that out unless there's some kind of mechanic where I need to. I won't take it out. Then Spire just increases all my damage. Thermatag's focus just increases more damage. Improved twin cast, more twin casting. And focus Arcanium is, I think, a resist debuff. I think it's archetype. Yeah, resist modifier. So at this point, I haven't started nuking. I haven't started doing anything yet. So this is just another resist modifier. It's a 10-minute reuse, so it's in the burn button. But here, then I go into focus rejuvenation, which just refreshes spell cast timers, just in case one of these isn't up. I'm getting, I'm prepping, getting the burn going. Silent casting, Heart of the Skyfire. More damage. Just from what I understand, all the stuff stacks. And you should see like all the, like when I click this, like my song window's full, my buff window gets full. It's crazy. There might be some like something I'm missing here that doesn't stack right. Like I noticed on my paladin, some of the stuff didn't, but they all seem to have different timers, so it should be fine. Then shield developments, which is sort by name. Shield developments right here. So heals me, heals whatever. It's just a buff. Like I just get it. I wouldn't click it otherwise, so I just throw it out there. Just in case he does pull aggro. And so it does happen. So I do have an issue with my while we're here, I'll fix it real quick. So my use item slot 17 is not. Yeah, use item slot sub index. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, that's what I did wrong. So that's just use 17, right? Yeah, I don't know. So now he will use his robe, I think, in the thing. So the conflagrant robe is what he has right now, which will what is the clicky on this? Elemental docile. So you allow your next 8 pet bashes or backstabs to deal 75,000 damage. Jeez, I've been missing out. I've been missing out, man. I've been missing out. So that's just another, more damage, more damage, more damage, more damage, right? And then over here, I have a glyph of ultimate power. I don't actually have the glyph of ultimate power yet, but the glyph of ultimate power right here is just another, critical chance, pet damage, critical everything goes up. This is like, it costs, I think 20 to 40 AA or whatever it is at the high end, and it is extremely game changing, right? So we're gonna start using this like once I get 115 and we want to do Zendikar for the first time. I'll be popping Glyph of the Ultimate Power here on everybody except for the tank, who will get Glyph of Dragon Scales, I believe, which just increases his max health, mana, everything by 20%. Mitigation just makes him god mode. Like, he's going to be extremely unkillable at this point. And this will help us get through some of these missions that we, you know, currently kind of will have issues with right away until we're geared to do them, right? So make sure we have those. So that's kind of like that. Yeah, so that's the glyphs, and then I think there was one more. Intensity of the Resolute. This is a special AA. It's a veteran reward. Everybody should have it though. Faithful right here. So just this one does not stack with Spire, so that's why it's on 3. By the time I click this one, in most cases, I will have already like Glyph will get moved up to burn 1 at some point, but that's kind of just where it's at right now. I didn't want to lose the concept. This will just increase our, you know, all our stuff. No, that's faithful. This one right here. Increase your healing damage by 50% and your melee attacks by 55% for 1 minute. It doesn't stack with the glyph either, so the glyph of destruction was renamed Ultimate Power at some point. I guess they didn't update this text, so this will get moved into right here. It'll probably replace one of these, probably this one, and I'll shift some things around, but it's the concept is the same. All right, Drape of Shadows. This is our escape. If we get attacked by something, this allows us to get out of trouble. Works most of the time. I've had a few times where I'll activate these kind of things and they don't work, and it's just weird. Then I have my mount. Everybody mounts up on my crew just because of the extra mana regen and stuff. Then my debuff, you know, X target 5, so it's the assist target, right? Pet attack, so the pet will attack it. Then I do wind melees and melees, right? If wind isn't up, melees will go. And the concept here is, if I can find it. Activate Wind of Melees. Where are you? There you are. So this is AoE Mallow, right? This is AoE resist debuff. It's pretty nice. And this increases the damage they take of magic-based spells up to 110 by 2% to 10%. I didn't even know I did that, so it's even crazier. So we got Wind, which is AoE, and then we got Melees, which is single target. So typically, I kind of am okay with the AoE going first. If I'm fighting something and there might be 2 or 3 mobs, it'll AoE it. Right, my Enchanter does the same thing with slow. The Tash AA is an AoE. It's a point blank AoE, so that's kind of why I always pull the mobs to my Enchanter, right? Like I stack on the Enchanter almost, and the Enchanter is gonna Tash AoE. The Mage is gonna Mallow AoE, and I think the Druid does something else, whatever. But then the Enchanter will then slow. That's the next part of her debuff macro, and they're all on the same button on my mouse. So if I hit numpad 3, they all do the same debuffing sequence at the same time. So it works out pretty well. And then if, you know, AoE is not up because it does have, what, a minute reuse, whereas this one has a 5-second reuse. So it's always there. And then short duration, I target the tank, which is 20. Sometimes it can be the pet. Just depends on what I'm doing. And then I summon the blazing orb, and then I do Infernal Flames, which I think is the wrong name of it. I think it's Blistering Skin now. When I first got it, it was Infernal Flames. And then I'll try to summon a Mod Rod. If it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. But it is what it is. Then I got my mass group stuff. I got a follow button. X target 1. Stand, follow, and then I have invite, which just makes grouping up easier. Then I have my transportation bar here. It's just my guild hall ports, my gate, my origin, my campfire, And my Stein gets me back to Plane of Knowledge and Throne of Heroes. I park all my characters in Guild Lobby when I'm not playing them, so their buffs don't wear off, and if someone buffs, they get more buffs. Alright, that is all of those. I think we went through all that. I already talked about the spells, but they're all pretty much the same. Just I cast them on cooldown. See here, then I have the mod rod. These I just click over, right? So I'm playing Holdridge here. I go over here, I click mod rod, and then I go back to doing Holdridge stuff while he's casting that. Everybody gets a mod rod on their hand if they don't have one. Otherwise, it's just a lore object that you can't loot. See, duplicate lore. Then I have clickies right here, so I can, when I'm looking at Holdridge's screen, I can see the little window for Gnomeregard here. And I can see, oh, he's out of mod rods, right? The screen also gets spammed by cannot find item. So that's another thing. I have a clicky for Call a Hero. I don't really use the single target as much as the group version. Just because, you know, I have more than one character. I gotta summon them all, so I gotta summon them all. Eradicate Magic is a dispel that will remove, you know, debuffs and stuff. So it's useful. I haven't really used it yet, but there will come a time when we need it. And if I use it on him, I'll probably use the enchanter to do it actually, but it's useful. Elemental Conversion is a nice little spell here. It takes 92,000 hit points from my pet and gives me 24,000 mana. Now, if we look at my pet, right, he's at 100% health. If I take his, takes him down 25%-ish, right? 26 to be exact. And truth be told, if he's not tanking, that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. And that is a 14-minute reuse, so I'm strongly considering putting in that over here in my spam buttons, but I haven't yet because I do have taunt on the pet, so it's just, you know, it is what it is. Heart of the Froststone, this is another defensive spell. Just absorb incoming spell and melee damage up to 180,000. I don't really use it. I probably could, but it'd just be a waste in all honesty, because I don't get hit. And if I do, I'm dead. So, shield developments, I believe we have this in our burn. Just another defensive thing. So shrink companion, so this will shrink our companion. See, it's nice and small. We can also click our earring. I believe these have tiny companion on them too. A summoning earring. You want the highest we'll cover more in gear, but the highest enhancement you can get is really what you want. Then I have summon companion, so if my pet is, let's see here, let's turn off follow. No, stop. Guard, that's the one I'm looking for. Alright, he's over there. I'm like, you know what, you need to come over here, buddy. I can summon him and he'll go back over there. I can follow. I can, let's see, where is it? I can suspend him, so here I can click suspend. And he's gone. I don't have a pet anymore. And then I can click suspend. What? There he's back. With all his buffs. So in theory, I could have two pets. I could summon one and suspend and swap between them, but I'm too lazy. Companion's Aegis is just, you know, another way to give more defensive to the pet. It's a 30-second reuse, but it gets a 36-minute thing, so it's a pretty nice little buff. I don't know how much mana it takes, like 1% mana, so it's not something I want to spam very often. I'll probably put it in my short duration buff. Probably take out the damage shield. I just haven't really optimized that yet. Min Companion heals the pet for 90,000. That's truly nothing. Like absolutely nothing. I get hit for 30,000 on my paladin, and like nothing. So healing the pet for 90,000 every 9 minutes is literally nothing. It's just an AA heal that, all right, I don't have it anymore. So if I had a heal button, I don't have any heals memorized for my pet. If I had some kind of heal button for him, I would definitely need to put that in there, but I don't. I let the mercenary handle it, and that's just what it is. Aspect to Zom is useless. I don't even know why I have that on my bar. It summons a little eyeball that can walk around. Then we have my self buffs here. I got Velocity, which is a self buff Spirit of Wolf for the pet. Makes him run fast. Like we kind of walk here, right? See how fast he moves? Like that's not normal. Let's see here. Elemental Form. This is a permanent buff, but I have it down here. So this turns you into an elemental. I block the illusion because I don't really care. And then grants 95 or higher detrimental spells, casting at least 10 mana, 15% chance to trigger one of these things, and they're all different things, right? This one, Earth. This one is direct damage, and this one is stun. So they're not really effective for a lot of stuff right now. Like this one's kind of nice. Like it'll absorb some damage, but it's so random, you don't know what you're gonna get. Some of them don't work on the stuff I'm fighting right now anyway. Increase the maximum your strength. Agility just increases all my stats. All that gives me another 50 points of mana regen. Like we're very mana regen heavy right now, right? If we look at like my enchanter, I don't think she's even anywhere near that. Yeah, she's at 600. My druid, I wish she was at 800. She's at 600 too. So very high mana regen on that. All right, and then Thermitage is Unity here. Just casts all our self buffs. So chaotic munificence, chance to heal ultimate, allows the chance to heal up to unlimited pets in your area for between 7,000 and 9,000 when you cast direct damage spell. So it's just like an auto heal for the pet. Bodyguard just summons another pet to attack stuff for 6 seconds. So it's like, I think it's an earth pet. So if I get hit, earth pet gets summoned, taunts it off, gives me 6 seconds to figure out life before I die. Shield of Scales, just the shield class we get, you know, we get the first one at like level 1, minor shielding. This is just the level 110 version of it. Gives us 5,000 hit points and all that stuff. Resistance, I believe it does not overwrite focus. I believe we have focus on right now, right? Yeah, vampire focusing. So we have focus right now, so it doesn't really matter. And then Burning Guardian covers you in a magical shield, increasing your hit point regeneration by 66, and mana regen by 58. So just another mana regen buff, and we need it, right? I burn through mana so fast, like sometimes I can't even keep up with it. So all right, that's all that. None of that stuff over here is important, just invisibility clickies for clicking invis. All right, let's talk gear. So certain items have certain focuses for the mage. So the helmet is magical based, so mages do fire and magic based damage. Typically I'm mostly doing fire, so I'm going to want the arms with a focus, right? So fire based damage by 60 to 75% will stop working on spells over 115, so we're almost there. So I got a little bit more time before I need to replace this gear, but it's very nice, you know, in that sense, right? So you want a helmet and arms, pretty much important. You're gonna also want the robe for sure. See here, because the clicky does insane amount of damage, but the robe also increased the spell damage of the spear by 7%. Notice that's why we cast it. And this, you know, this goes same spells kind of thing all the way up through 120. And then you're going to want the best summoning earring you can possibly get. This is the raid earring from the Burning Lands. It's the best one I could get my hands on. Empowers pets between 106 and 125 to summon more powerful minions. This is enhanced minion 27. I think I have a 33 on my necromancer, so it keeps going up. And you also want luck. Some of my stuff, like my conflagrant, doesn't have luck. Luck was added in the Burning Lands expansion, so from that point on there is luck. Luck is pretty sweet because it will give you a lucky critical. Lucky critical, just more critical chances, right? And I don't have it running right now, but if I had my log parser on, I could kind of show you. It pulls it out. It's a separate way of rolling that out. So definitely you want the highest luck. So in TBL it's 5. In, let's see, do you have one? No, I think he has one. So in, nope, not that one. Nope, no luck on either of those. I swore I had luck on something. I got so much junk. Belt? Yeah, alright, here we go. Fraction. No, it's a TBL belt. I don't know. I think it goes up to 10 and then 15 and then 20. So each expansion adds 5, I believe, but I could be wrong there. So you want the maximum luck you can possibly get on your stuff, right? So I have 10 luck on this character right now, and if I mouse over luck, and you know, just infect, increases your skill chance, critical proficiency, and heroic mod effects, right? Just, you know, you get a more everything. So the higher luck you can get, and you want the highest enhanced minion you can possibly get. Just depends on what you're looking for. And you obviously want the best gear you can get too. So this is all conflagrant gear. So this is all 106 gear, but he's 105 or 110, and he's going to level up to 111 fairly soon. Here's another item with luck on it, right? 3 luck here. It's only 50%, so just kind of something to keep in mind. Right, so that's gear. I don't really cast much else. Let me open my log parser. All right. So here is a log from, looks like to be earlier today. Right before, I think there's like the video before this, I made a part 2 of Elclores. So you can see here's 110. Keep in mind, he is 110. 110 Mage. He's doing 268,000 damage during the burn against Blizzint. I think we burned. I can't remember. I think it was the second one. Maybe we didn't burn. But you can kind of see he's doing maximum damage here. You can kind of see his pets are doing, you know, a good portion of his damage, right? He's half his damage is like literally pets. So very important there, right? And you can kind of see, you know, the luck kind of plays into it, right? So he had 50% critical chance. You know, average lucky critical 51,000. His highest hit was almost 1 million, and his average hit was 29,000. So you can kind of see he's my top DPS character at 110. This is out, you know, this is the mercenary here. His pets did more damage than her, right? Oh, okay. She did 3,000 damage more than his pets. So that's kind of crazy, right? If we look at this one, this is another named. So a little less DPS. This one was a little bit more chaotic in the fight. I think my paladin actually got stomped in this one or previous one. I killed this guy so many times. But you can get a see here again, top DPS. And here's another one. 129. This was a non-burn, and his pet was tanking because I think holders died in this one actually. If we look at tanking summary, right? His pet tanked more. You can see here, here's the tanking chart, right? Holderage. So he just stopped tanking at some point because he died, and then the pet took over, right? So a mage can do massive amounts of damage, and the mage can tank. Like it's pretty crazy. Let me see here. Let's just grab a bunch of random mobs. So this was I think this was like during a lesson of the day. I think these ones right here. So, you know, his damage is pretty solid. His max hit was 2 million. 2 million. Yeah, 2.8 million. Jeez. I didn't even see that crit. So he's got some pretty big damage, right? You know, it's a little 152k overall. This is non-burning. This is just group normal experience, right? I didn't include the named. So I think this was during my lesson of the day. Just killing stuff for fun, right? During that process, it's hard to beat the Paladin because the Paladin has Slanda, and we see he's hitting for 1.4 million. But you look here, the Druid's hitting for 1.1 million max hits, right? So it's definitely something, right? I'm gonna replace the mercenary with another mage, I think. Just she's useless in every possible way. Like at 111, she was doing more damage than everybody else, but now that they've kind of gotten the AAs and stuff, she has no chance. And then here, this is all of these are from inside. What is it called? Belk's Lab. These are tier 2 mobs. So they're a little bit higher level. They obviously a little bit better. You can see here, he's still above and beyond everybody else DPS wise. Even the Paladin dropped down to 6, you know, like less than half, you know, that's like a third, right? Of the damage that the mage is doing, right? It's just kind of crazy. So it's just, you know, what it is. Definitely a great addition to my thing. The pet loses damage, right? Because it does tank. So the pet's losing a little bit of damage out of that because you know, he's taking the hits, and so things I get a little weird, I guess. I don't know. But he's still, you know, he's getting these 1 million+ hits. I think when he hits 111, he's going to get some new spells. 112, you know, all the way to 115 when we get there. I suspect his DPS alone will be 500,000+ at 115. You know, we'll get him all geared up and stuff. Start making gear for him, but I think that's where it is. And another thing should note, right? In this parser, right, I use, like, it brings my pets and puts them under me. And to get the parser to actually determine that, if you hit pet leader, says my leader is Gnome Regard, it will automatically in EQ log parser determine that pet is yours, right? And you can just find that by going right clicking on one of these nuns and selecting leader right here, and it'll show up then. For the longest time I couldn't figure it out because I kept having to manually do it. But there we go. I think that's everything for the mage. I mean, this is a good class. Like, I play it as a box class, and then you could probably surpass whatever I'm doing with the mage if you're actually maining a mage, right? If you're still watching this video and you know, like, that's the takeaway. I'm very lazily playing the mage, and he's still outperforming all my other characters. Now my druid isn't I have my druid in a balanced mode, so he's always gonna beat her. In a burn, I think I might have it still. Hold on. There was a burn from the other day. Yeah, it's too old. It's older than 24 hours. I feel like I've killed more than that. There was a burn from the other day. The druid beat him. Only in a burn. I have no idea what happened. Because it's all multi-bound and stuff like that. But for the most part, he is top DPS on every single encounter. Every encounter that's live, for 100% sure. Undead, it's like 50-50 between him and the paladin. Just because the paladin does so much damage with a two-hander versus undead. Compared to everything else. So, overall, a great addition to the team. I am most likely going to add another one. Just so I can push. I want to be able to push into the 3 to 4 million DPS, if not higher, so that we can burn through some bosses at some point. But it doesn't really matter right now. I'm not going to do it until like another experience bonus or something like that. But definitely one of the better classes for boxing, and one of the better classes for soloing. The mage can solo pretty well too, so keep that in mind. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, please post them below.